On this episode, I'm going to be sharing another story in the Aesop's Fables series, this one titled The Mice in Council. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. On this episode, The Mice in Council, another story from the Aesop's Fables series. To get right to the story, to get to the chase, all the mice, they met together in council. They had a meeting. They discussed the big topic of conversation was how to stay safe from the attacks of the cat. Makes a lot of sense. And one mouse of a certain quote-unquote standing and experience says, we should fasten a bell around the neck of our enemy the cat, which will by its tinkling warn us of her approach. That seems like a pretty good idea in theory, and many of the mice really enjoyed it. They applauded. They liked the proposal and they decided to adopt it. But an old mouse said, an old wiser mouse said, I agree with you all, the plan before us is an admirable one. But may I ask, who is going to bell the cat? I think this one's pretty funny. This story didn't actually have a moral at the end. There's no moral given for this story, so I guess it's up for us to decide the lesson that we want to learn, the lesson that we want to take away from this story. And I think one right away is that everybody thinks that the plan is good, but nobody actually wants to be the one who implements it. Nobody wants to be the one to put themselves in harm's way to basically save the rest of the group. And why would they? Do you think that somebody would put him or herself in harm's way to potentially help save the rest of the group? Would anyone actually volunteer to do something so selfless? This really calls into question the thought of self-sacrifice. Is the plan really worth it if it involves somebody potentially getting hurt, somebody potentially putting themselves in harm's way to maybe save thousands of people or thousands of mice in this situation? Do we think that the mice will actually go through with this plan? What if the cat just unfastens the belt around her neck? The bell around her neck. And there are a lot of unknown variables when making important decisions. That's another lesson that I take out of this story. A lot of unknown variables when making important decisions. A lot of uncertainties to take into account. You might not have all of the information. You might not know how it's going to turn out, but you still need to make a decision. And I think another lesson that I took away from this is that you want to keep an open mind when brainstorming strategies and plans. You always want to be thinking of more and more and more ideas because your first idea is usually never the best idea. You always want to keep searching. You always want to keep challenging your ideas and seeing through their flaws. We don't like to think that our ideas can have any flaws. We're always in love with the first idea that we have, but the more we brainstorm ideas, the more we realize that these ideas are building off of each other and getting better and better and better and better. So this story, The Mice in Council,